Shmooz a bit about the forthcoming Rosh Hashona and try to put into focus some of the aspects of this forthcoming Yontiv. Mishpoches, families, that's the nucleus of a meaningful life. Yet often they become a laboratory that cooks up chaos. Brothers fall out over myriad grievances, perceived or otherwise. Children turn away from the parents, chas v'shalom. It's all there, the tapestry of mankind's tests and says challenges. So now I'm going to share with you a typical example. You'll all recognize this in one way or the other. You have two brothers, all right? Fine, upstanding, balabatish members of the community, and they're held up with great regard, and they're blessed to have still parents, elderly parents, who, although independent, need some help, some understanding, company. So one brother is there every day. He's running errands, he calls the doctor, he pays the bills, he makes sure that the electricity is taken care of. He makes his parents a comfortable life as much as possible. After all, they are loving parents, and they've given of their all throughout their marriage to give the children everything they have. The other brother, he's a busy man, he's a busy executive. He runs these tremendous businesses. He'll send some flowers to mommy every once in a while and even make a phone call when necessary. However, he's never really there for them. He talks the talk, but in reality, he just doesn't seem to think nor empathize on the enormity of the parent's situation. Now, the casual listener of these words will share a sigh and move along to the next year, the next clip, whatever. After all, it seems clear who the hero is in this case, right? And it seems to be a black and white situation. But I ask you, before you leave, spare me another moment. Because in this tableau of complex human relations lies a secret of Rosh Hashona. Every one of us has a father who cares with every breath that we take. And that father facilitates our whole entirety. And yet, do we ever think about his discomfort? Kaviyuchel the Eibishter, our Father, he followed us into Golas. He destroyed his chosen home because it couldn't withstand the Averas from Klal Yisrael. Intensely, he bears our pain. He's with us in the darkest of places. He suffers our circumstances. Especially now with this whole COVID-19 or whatever, all the pain that we are sharing and feeling, the Irish Tekaviyucha feels this also. Yet, we enter Rosh Hashona and we beseech Kaviyucha the Eibishter for a long life and of prosperity and so much more, with nary a thought for the Eibishter's pain. The Ribbono Shel Olam is in Golas with us, yet we seem to fail to empathize with the Yisirim that the Kaviyucha the Eibishter has. Are we not just as guilty as the busy son who stirs himself to call once in a while? Rosh Hashona is about crowning Kaviyucha Hashem as the king of the entire world. Yet, we don't really think of his sorrow over the gullus that we brought about. It's down to us. He gives and he gives year after year, and we take and ask for more, praying entirely for our own needs, without stopping first to daven for the kavod of the Shechina, for the honor of Yushalayim, for the honor of Klal Yisrael that's in Gullus. The Mavasa Toiv from the Biala Rebbe Shlita, who lives in Tzvas, he writes the following. He says that the tzaddikim would make these matters a central focus of their davening. They would cry together with Hashem in commiseration with the plight of the Shechina. Said the Rebbe, I once watched my father, the Chelkes Yeshia, Zaycha Tzadik Lebrocha, saying Kriya Shema. And when he finished, he began to sob uncontrollably. So after davening, said the Rebbe, I asked him, what are you crying about, Tata? And he told me that the Divrei Bina, which was one of the Frierdiker Biala Rebbes, writes that after Kriya Shema, after you say Kriya Shema, one should cry and beg for Rachmanis, for mercy, on behalf of the Shechina that is in Golus. In previous generations, there were tzaddikim who would leave home for the 3 weeks. They'd wander like in Golus, from one town to the other. The Rebbe Elimelech, with his brother, the Rebbe Zisha, they would go from one place to the other, only to try to get a sense, a gefil, some sense of the hardship of Golus, and be able to better empathize with the sorrow of the Shechina. Kabbalah's Ol Malchus Shemayim, which we all experienced the whole world, but through the lockdown, there were several times when there was a moment where the whole of Klal Yisrael, every place where we live, we all were saying Shema Yisrael, Hashem Hu Elokim, Hashem. We all were makabel. Ol Malchus Shemayim. But you also have to understand that this requires us to think about the kavod of Shemayim, of Hashem, and not just about our own personal needs. We were crying, we were frightened, but you have to have a zin in the Ma'abish Te'ochet. We must commit ourselves and to serve Kaviyuchel Hashem, even when we do not have everything that we think we need. As we all know, character flaws such as arrogance are disgusting, repugnant to Kaviyuchel to Hashem. Chazal tell us Hashem cannot bear to stay in the same world with such a person. So as we prepare for crown Hashem as our king on Rosh Hashona, we must first make sure that we are indeed fit to be his subjects, that we do not offend him with our arrogance, with our greediness, with vindictive behavior, with questions, right? And that we bring honor to Hashem through our behavior. We have no right to beseech Hashem for our earthly needs, whilst not contemplating the goals of the Shechina. The Aish Kodesh from Pshisk explained the verses from Aish Kodesh. She rises while it is still night to give food to her house. Says the Rebbe, this means that the era directly preceding the Geula Shlema, the redemption, will be marked with great prosperity. Wealth is a trial of our moral integrity. So Hashem bestows upon us all that we need, and we're not cognizant of that. Magili is skip. I've often told you over the Naftul Shabbat Zachet Tzadik Levucha used to say, the Irish hat uns verschonkt 50 Jahre after the Milchama, after the war. God, the Irish, they gave us 50 years to rebuild. We didn't have the schusim even to see, to deserve the miraculous growth of Klal Yisrael. But that's been 25 years since then. And we have taken for granted so much. The Irish, obviously, ich bin nicht Genovi, but the matzav that we see now, that where we are stuck, where we meant to be at home, many of us are isolated, where we thought we had stuff that's no longer there, people with panosas, with all the tragedies that we've suffered, all the shiva houses that we've visited. We have to take that, multiply it, and understand that this is the feeling that Kaviyucha Hashem is feeling in his Golos. Es steht mit uns zusammen. So this Rosh Hashona, we have to work on taking all the gifts that we were given and funneling them towards a better tomorrow, one that is filled with acceptance, with understanding, and with a cognizance that there is one Tata in Himmel, an Erwart of uns, and he's with us, and dem Schus alle geholfen werden, mit der Ksiva, Vachsime, Teuve, Mein.